Hi, and thanks for joining me today for the weekly love reading, okay? Typically, I post these on Fridays, but I do post them once a week. And we're basically just looking at the next 7 days ahead and what's in store for you for love, okay? So we're looking at a general reading, and we're also looking just to find out any kind of dynamics, any kind of themes, you know, what to prepare for in the next 7 days and all of that kind of stuff. Regardless of when this reading goes up, you can watch this at any time, and it's timeless. Just whichever pile you pick is going to be for the next 7 days. All right, guys? I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Cassie, and I'm the reader behind MomentsAre. Everything you need to know about me is going to be in that description. Don't want to waste your time by, you know, telling you anything else extra. And I also wanted to... oh, what was it I was going to say? I can't even remember. So let's go ahead and point out the piles, okay? So the first pile is the purple fluorite heart. The second pile is the blue Lapis Lazuli heart. The third pile is the pink rose quartz heart. The fourth pile is the black Obsidian heart. The fifth pile is the white Opalite heart. And the sixth pile is this kind of gray and red Bloodstone heart. All right, guys? So go ahead and pause the video if you have not picked your pile. Otherwise, let's go ahead and start with pile number 1. Hi, those of you who picked the purple fluorite heart, here's your reading. Okay, so we have clarity of belief. Okay, the 5 of Pentacles, the moon. Oops. We have gift. Or no, not gift. Sorry, it's wish. There, I'm trying to hold it up so you can see it, because the print on these smaller cards can sometimes be difficult to see when I put them down. See how small that is? Yeah. King of Cups. We have the Tower, followed by the Cross. Okay, and robotic. I don't want to let you be able to see that word there. Robotic. All right, guys. First off, we have something new coming in, okay? And this new thing that's coming in is going to have to do with communication, but it's also about... Okay, I just got stopped. Like, I don't actually think it is going to be about ideas so much as just communication. Like, something new wants to communicate, or there's some new communication that wants to happen. And that's the best way I can put it. It's like, I don't know if it's going to, but it certainly wants to. I feel like there's some kind of block there. And I think that the block has to do with these cards, and maybe even the robotic card. Yes, it has to do with the robotic card too. So when we have the 5 of Pentacles, the way that I'm interpreting this in this reading is that I feel like you in the relationship, or if you're single, of course, you are walking by something that could really greatly help you in your desires for love. Okay, it's like it's there, and it should be obvious, but for some reason it's not being acknowledged. Kind of like how there's what appears to be a church in the background, and these people, you know, they might need some charity right now in this picture, but they're continuing to just walk by, right? I feel like that's kind of what's going on. And then with the moon coming out, it's like, okay, there's something hidden here, right? So it's like, I feel like it's just not being seen, or it's not being, or maybe it's something that you even know about, but you're kind of blocking yourself off from it because maybe you're worried about maybe getting hurt or something like that. I'm getting that most of you aren't in that position, though. I think most of you have just been in this kind of automated state. Like if you've heard of the term autopilot, it's kind of like that, where you're just going about your day every day, and it's like, even though there's some kind of push there for more communication with someone, most likely your person, okay? For those of you who are thinking about a person, okay? there's something that keeps being missed on your part. Unfortunately, I'm not getting what it is that's being missed though. But your person or someone who you would be very interested in wants to express themselves to you. And I'm getting that all you need to do is give, for those of you who have somebody in mind, all you have to do is give them an opportunity to express themselves. Like you know, how have you been feeling lately, or something like that. You know, it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be really direct. It doesn't have to be like, tell me your deepest desires. You know, it doesn't have to be like that. It can just be like, how have you been feeling lately? Or you might even want to bring up a current event. For example, in the States, we've got a trial going on. We've got issues having to do with violence and that kind of stuff. It's like you might want to reference something that's been happening and say, you know, so how do you feel about that? You know, it's just give them the idea that you're okay with them expressing themselves emotionally. Even if it doesn't even have to do with your relationship, they'll start associating you with their emotions and expressing their emotions around you, which is basically where you want, because like I said, there's something that's being missed that has to do with your person. And for those of you who it's like, well, this isn't very helpful because I'm single, it's like, well, just be aware of the different ways that people show emotion. You might even want to look up information on nonverbal behavior and how that can come up showing certain emotions. Or you might want to just start asking people who you find maybe attractive, or for whatever reason, you know, oh, hey, how's it going? You know, that kind of stuff, like something really, really simple, just to give them the opportunity to talk to you, because I feel like it's the opportunity isn't being presented, and it's not being presented because you, the viewer, is kind of in this automated space. I also feel like you're very much in your head right now, and that's okay. Like, you're supposed to be there, and that's okay, but because of that, sometimes we can kind of zone out and not notice what's around us. Another thing that I think is kind of interesting about this is that I'm also specifically not getting this person's necessarily someone you see a lot, okay? I'm not necessarily getting that, you know, for example, this could be somebody that you know on the internet, or somebody that you used to know but you don't see them very much, something like that. So, you know, even though I can say, like, maybe you're not paying attention as much, even when we're in our heads and in the space we're talking about is something like the internet, or something like even in your dreams, or you know, or something like that. It's like you're still so focused on whatever it is that you're focusing on, which I'm getting is a good thing. So that's fine. Don't think that that's not where you're supposed to be. Sometimes we can, you know, lower our awareness of other things, right? It might be a week that you're not really supposed to do much, but given that we have this King of Cups coming up, that really indicates some kind of movement in your love life. And with the clarity of belief here, we're talking about communication. Another thing about clarity of belief, and this particular card we got, which is Wish, is that I do feel like there is an attitude that you might carry with you that affects the way that people perceive you, that might be able to improve if you kind of think about it more, instead of saying, I need them, or I want them, to kind of say in your head, like, they need me, or they want me, you know, or I am desirable, you know, that kind of stuff. Because I've noticed, and this might have to do with, I've just noticed a correlation, and I know correlation isn't the same as causation, but I've noticed a correlation with people who've been kind of shut in due to the virus and all of that, also being kind of getting a little bit down on themselves, and especially lately. I'm not an astrologer, so I don't claim to know if there might be something astrologically going on that might be, you know, affecting that. But I do believe that whatever's going on here, you know, if you're feeling kind of down on yourself, just kind of know that you need to kind of brush that off, you know? I'm not saying like, oh, just get over it and whatever. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, we all have our negative, you know, aspects, and that's fine. But I feel like you, as in the viewers of this, might be a little hard on yourself right now. And just understand that you are a beautiful person that has a lot to offer in a relationship. And you might not feel that way, but it's like you've got to get yourself aligned with that energy, because you can attract so much when you get to that point, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Think about what you want to happen, and instead of saying, you know, I want to meet the person of my dreams, instead say, I'm blessed because I already know the person of my dreams, or I know the person of my dreams, or I'm with the person of my dreams, that kind of thing. Put it into present tense and really feel the excitement that you'd feel of that being true, to help manifest that energy, so that you can get aligned with the energy of feeling like you're loved, and feeling that you are lovable. I mean, really, as sad as it might seem, I do believe that some of my viewers for this particular pile might not even feel like they are worthy of love, which is so sad, because everybody is. If you can give it, then you can definitely receive it. So do keep that in mind. All right, guys. Now we've got the Tower and the sorry, I'm blanking on the word, the Cross, okay? So we have the Tower and the Cross. So I'm still getting this kind of solitary, very focused energy on withdrawing, kind of, that kind of, you know, being alone, or being kind of swallowed up, okay? The kind of ways that I'm describing it sounds kind of dismal, but I feel like that's where you want to be, though, right now, in that you have a lot to reflect on, and it's going to help raise your vibration as well. So even though I'm saying, you know, get aligned with that kind of stuff, you know, I think you're working on that anyway. So do understand that too. The moon can also come up talking about shadow work. And when I say shadow work, I just mean looking at aspects of yourself that maybe you think aren't acceptable, but they actually are, you know, or there's no reason why you should feel negative about those things, you know, and that can definitely help really raise your vibration as well. Either way, it does look like it's got the potential to be a really positive week. It's just about paying attention. And I'm also getting that whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're kind of in automation, maybe not so much paying attention to the world around you, if you're kind of withdrawn and like focusing on spirituality, and that kind of stuff, I don't feel like that's going to jeopardize this whole situation. I feel like if you are there and you feel really strongly that that's where you're supposed to be, then keep doing that. Just know that there's something hidden from you that's going to try to make itself known this week. So I would say, if you want to know what that is, go ahead and make yourself a little bit more receptive. All right. Okay. So regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful day. I did introduce 2 new decks. This one's called the Price of Love Oracle. And I got that off of Etsy. It's a little pricey, but it is really, really good. And then this is called, let me see, what's it called? The Inner Compass Oracle. And I also got this off of Etsy, and I'm really enjoying using this one as well. I've been using some of these cards for my private readings, and oh, they're so good. They're giving me great readings. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. I want to thank you for being so supportive and for tuning in for today's reading. I just want you to know that I really care about you guys. And I just thank you so much for supporting me and showing up. You know, I have some, I believe that I'm going to be posting another reading sometime this weekend. So you can look for that. And if you need anything in the meantime, you can always order a reading with me. Bye, guys. Hi, those of you who picked the Lapis Lazuli heart, here is your reading. Okay, all right. I just want to go ahead and let you know on, like, based on the cards that I'm seeing, because it's painting a picture for me, but I just want to let you know before I even start that it's not the prettiest picture, but we can look at this and see how to get to a better place. All right, guys? Okay, so we have grief and sadness. All right? We have the child and the key. Okay? We have messenger. Okay, I want to hold this closer so you can see it. It's right there under the hand. It says messenger on it. This is a kind of a small deck. I just wanted you to be able to see that. Okay, we do have the Ten of Swords. We also have the Tower. But we also have the Six of Wands, and this would be the equivalent of the Chariot, which is called a move in this deck, okay? So let's just kind of look at this, okay? In general, the cards might feel pretty dark. I mean, it's difficult to see this Ten of Swords and not think, oh, that's not where I want to be. And, you know, grief and sadness, ooh, that doesn't feel that great. But and of course, the Tower isn't the most fun card to get, right? But let's go ahead and look at this all together in context with everything else, okay? I do feel that, especially, I mean, just look, we've got this one as number 10. I'm gonna wait for the camera to zoom in on that so you can see if it wants to. Come on, zoom in, make that clear. Maybe it is clear, I don't know. But anyway, that's a 10. And then we have the Ten of Swords here. I do feel like that 10 energy is there, like, but I feel like it's there in a way that's a little bit more negative than some of the other 10s can be. Like, for me, 10 represents, it's like you're at the end of something, or things have kind of culminated to this one point. And with this one point, like everything kind of getting to this point is an overarching theme or an overarching feeling, right? And I feel like the overarching feeling right now, where you are at this point, especially at the beginning of the week, might feel really bad. It might feel like maybe you're having to give up something. You might feel a loss. This loss could have something to do with something completely outside of your relationship or your love life, but it's affecting it. But I do feel like it does have something to do with your love life, because we have this grief and loss, and then we also have the Ten of Swords, which it doesn't feel like betrayal to me. Sometimes that comes up with the betrayal. It feels like you are like, I mean, I imagine the same feeling that I've had in the past, where it's like I had like such a horrible breakup with somebody, or something just bad happened, and I was like, I'm just done. I'm just done with love. It's not for me. That kind of feeling, like it's just, I'm done. I'm out. I'm pinned up against a wall, and there's nothing that I can do, so I'm just gonna be like, whatever. The thing about the Tower, I'm getting a little emotional, because it's just such a sad place to be, and it makes me feel sad when I'm thinking that there are people in the world that might feel this way, you know, and I know that at any given time people might feel this way, you know, and it's just like everybody has, I mean, there is so much hope and there is so much goodness, and it's just kind of like, just get up and find it, because it's there. I know it's there. But I also understand that sometimes it feels like it's the right moment to pause and feel down, maybe. Because with that, we get through things. We experience that so much that we're able to get through it and be like, okay, I've survived that. I'm still good, and I can get something even better, right? So let's move on to the Tower. The Tower is a kind of, it's weird, because for me, it's kind of like a cleansing energy, because it's kind of like fire. I understand there's fire in the Tower. I get that. But it's kind of like a cleansing energy for me. It's like, I feel like it's important for me to relay this story, and you guys in Australia, please be patient with me. So there's a certain bush or shrub or something in Australia okay? And when they have bushfires or, you know, forest fires, or usually it's bushfires down south. Usually it's down south, I think. I'm not certain now that I think about it, but it doesn't matter. When they have a really bad fire going on in Australia, okay, everything's just destroyed, right? But there is one plant that it builds. That's the thing that gives it the proper nutrients to grow. It only grows when there's been a fire. It's like that's the only time it can grow. And so when I think about the tower right now in this particular reading, I'm thinking about that imagery of there's something that can grow from this. It's like this has been leveled, like this whole area of beautiful vegetation and growth has been completely leveled. But it's been leveled because something new is supposed to come in, and it's going to be so beautiful and so perfect. And so then we have these very opposing cards to this energy here with moving forward and success and all of that. I feel like this needed to be released or let go of, or it needs this. It's demanding a new perspective so that you can move forward, so you can be successful. So I want to let you know that this week does provide something very, very important for those of you who chose this pile that will help you get where you want to be. It might not be this week, but it'll most likely be next week, okay? For those of you who are really, really lucky, it'll be before the week's over, okay? Another thing, this kind of reiterates the same thing, but we're talking about a child. This represents new beginnings, okay? And we have the key. So you do have the answer in sight as far as the answer to this energy. You have the answer of how you're going to get back to normal, how you're going to even exceed where you were before, and all of that. In this week, you'll be able to figure that out. For some of you, again, it might not be until next week, but that energy is there. It's like, it feels like it's bubbling, like simmering, like it wants to come out. It wants to, it's like it's almost ready. I think about actually making dinner and how sometimes we need things to kind of sit and marinate and all of that until something can be, you know, really tasty. And I feel like that's kind of the energy here. So I don't want to neglect this one, Messenger. I really think that you will get a positive message. Okay. I do understand that there's a raven in there. And that ravens are associated with Morgan, and they can be associated with death. I understand that, but I feel like the raven's just there because ravens have been used to send messages. Okay, I don't feel like that's there because of an additional negative thing. I think there is going to be a positive message this week. Weirdly enough, I don't actually think it's going to necessarily be directly about your love life, but I think it's going to affect your love life, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So thank you so much for joining me. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. And if it does turn out being kind of rough, just understand that you're going through that for a reason. I really... I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to read for you. I really appreciate you, and I just really want to say how much, I really do appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for all the support. It really does mean a lot to me, and I will post another video probably this weekend. I have another video that I want to do, so be on the lookout for that, and I hope to see you at the next reading, or if you need a personal reading, a private reading sometime in between then and now. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys. All right. Those of you who picked the pink, I've blanked on it. What is it called? The pink rose quartz heart. Here's your reading. Oh, we've got manipulation. All right. We have the paths and movement. Okay. We have challenge. just holding this closer to you so that you can see it, because this is a very tiny card. Look at how small that is. I just wanted to make sure you could see that it said challenge on it. Okay, we have the 8 of Wands, we have the 7 of Wands, the 7 of Cups, and release. Interesting. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the message was what I thought it was. Just so you know, I'm going to hold up this card so you can see the 13. This would be the equivalent of death in this tarot deck, right? But it's not. It's release. So I did want to kind of let you guys know that, for those of you who didn't know this deck very well and maybe wanted to know that, okay? So we've got this week, as far as love goes, the next 7 days, it's going to be going by pretty quickly, okay? And you might also notice, because of this kind of quick energy, that you might feel a little rushed. I would say right now is a time for kind of thinking on your feet when it comes to any kind of decision you make, even about relationships, not even just love, but any kind of relationship. So understand that if you're feeling really, really pressured lately, that's an appropriate place to be, okay? We also have this feeling of being defensive. We have this manipulation going on. And we have this release card here, which all three of these make me, and the challenge, make me think that, especially the challenge and the 7 of Wands here, that you might need to step aside from the situation for this week. Like, this might be a time where you're supposed to retreat, or you're not run away, but you're supposed to kind of withdraw and allow other things, like just allow things in your love life to just kind of flow on, so that you don't get taken up by the current, kind of in a way. And I understand some of you guys who are watching are single, and you know, it's like, well, I don't really have something to withdraw from, but it's like, it's just a time where it's better to redirect your energy somewhere else, okay? I feel like this manipulation goes both ways. Let me explain. I feel as though there are needs that need to be met for both you and your person, for those of you who are in a relationship or have someone in mind. And that the only way to get these needs met in the now is to kind of, I don't know, manipulation is such a strong word. It has so much negative associations with it, and I want to honor that, but I also feel like it's also just kind of showing up as both people in the situation might be more prone to like talking to each other about their feelings in a little bit of a exaggerated way in order to get a certain kind of reaction. In fact, they're either you or your person or both are trying to get a certain kind of reaction of one another. And while sometimes that could be fine and all of that, it's getting to a place where it's almost on the verge of being unhealthy. And so withdrawing this week might be appropriate because of that. We want to make sure that we're withdrawing from that energy so that we're not trying to necessarily control the situation or control the person or be controlled, right? And so that we can have like enough air to breathe, kind of look at all of our options and figure out what it is that we want. What do you want the most? What do you want to manifest? I feel like the challenge is going to be in this kind of stepping aside. And it's like, I don't feel like you're releasing the relationship itself, but that you're releasing some parts of it that aren't serving you. And you're really putting your foot down in the situation and saying, I'm not going to go on the same course. I've got to find a new way to go. All right. For some of you, that new path is actually going to take you away from that person. Okay. And And unfortunately, I can't tell you, obviously I can't tell you why that is, or who of the viewers are going to be that person. But I can say most of you are going to stick with it, and you're just going to move to a higher level in this relationship, and you're just kind of getting rid of this kind of defensive energy, very ego-driven energy, where it's like you want to, like, it's like you want to kind of, like, it's like you interpret your person as a being somebody who opposes you, or somebody who might be against you somehow. It's like that needs to be cleared out, because the two of you are working together, not in opposition. Okay, so that is, yeah, with this moving on though, I just okay, this moving on is letting us know that the reason you're moving on is so that you can find something new in this relationship. There's obviously the whole, like, getting to a better level and all of that, but it's also like a new space, a new headspace. And I believe that, especially since we have the storks that, they fly around, so they're in the air. So I really do feel like that's what's going on here. All right, guys. So I am reading with a new deck this week. This is called The Price of Love Oracle card, and I got it on Etsy. And I'm also reading with this deck. It's called the Inner Compass Oracle. And, of course, the Rider-Waite here. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a really wonderful week in love. I feel like there's something that is deliberately being left out in this particular reading for you guys. But it's being left out because it's supposed to be a surprise. And it's like every time I try to figure out what that is, I just run into this kind of block, like I'm not supposed to know. So it's kind of frustrating as a reader to get that. But at the same time, I do want to at least communicate with you that I feel like there's something more here that hasn't been uncovered yet. And I feel like this will be uncovered somewhere between day 5 and 7 of this week. So just kind of be aware of that. Also know that I care about you guys so much, and I really appreciate all the support and all of that kind of stuff. If you want to go ahead and like the video or subscribe if you haven't already. I do post these regularly. And I just want to thank you, again, for tuning in for this reading. And I will see you again probably sometime this weekend, because I have another idea for a video that I want to do. So I'll see you then, or sometime in the meantime if you decide to get a private reading. Bye for now. Okay, hi. Those of you who picked the black obsidian heart, here is your reading. Ooh, we have deja vu. We have the clouds followed by the sun. Oh, I love it when the sun comes in the reading, because the sun makes everything like better when it comes into the Norman. Regardless of what other cards are around, all of them get enhanced. So we have Awaken. Okay, we have a second image of the sun there, and because this is such a small card, I want to make sure you guys can see really clearly that word awaken, because look at how small that is. It's so little. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles, we have the 9 of Cups, the Emperor, and Love. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with this deck, I just wanted to let you know that this would be the equivalent of the Lovers card. Okay, so this is a very, very positive reading. I feel like this deja vu is coming out because we're starting a new cycle in your relationship. Or the person that you're thinking about, there's some kind of new cycle that's going to come around and give you the opportunity to really build on everything again, okay? I feel like a decision is going to be made for you. And that's not a bad thing, because I feel like it's kind of got you in a stagnating place. And when that decision's made, or when you realize that there's basically one way forward, that you're going to just feel so much better. I feel like there's this really positive anticipation of something good might happen this week. And that this is even coming from, you guys might actually already feel that before I even turned over the cards. And for those of you who are like, am I crazy? Because it's really weird. No, you're not. There's something about this attitude of like, ooh, something really good is going to happen. That does let me know that, yeah, there's something good coming this week for you. Okay. When it comes to love, the Lovers lets me know that you will be with a person that's very, very positive for you, very healthy for you, somebody who would be a good person to enter a relationship into, for those of you who are single, or for those of you who are speaking about a certain kind of person, you've got them in your mind, or you're thinking about a certain relationship. It's going to get really positive. All right. We also have the Emperor energy here, which is kind of a little bit of an odd thing out, but I still feel like it belongs, because we have this kind of fiery energy here, especially with the Ram, and it is Aries right now when this goes up. Of course, this is a timeless reading. But yeah, we've got this Aries energy. We've got something new as well with this, given that Aries is associated with new things. But we also have this kind of feeling of like maybe somebody is trying to control the situation a little bit. No, somebody wants to take the lead in this situation. It's not you. So whoever it is that you've been thinking about, for those of you who have somebody on your mind, they want to take the lead. So allow them to. Allow them to reach out to you next, for example, and they will. Yeah, they will. This is an interesting card, the Awaken card, because I feel like this combined with this Sun card here is letting us know that things are really going to be coming to light this week for you guys. And because these things are going to be coming to light, you're going to be very grounded in the moment, and you are going to know what the reality is. It's not going to feel so abstract, okay? You're going to be able to see evidence of what maybe your intuition's been telling you for a while. For those of you who are single, I just want to let you know that something is coming to light this week. It just feels like something new wants to start in your life, okay? It's same for those of you who have somebody in mind also. One thing that I'm getting here with this, and I do want to make sure you guys understand that the clouds are associated with some, maybe cloudy thinking, or it can sometimes represent depression, or it can just represent that kind of brain fog, okay? Kind of like, I don't know, if you have to wake up extra early and you just don't feel with it, because it's like, I don't know, one of those days where you don't feel like you've woken up. That's the kind of energy that I get from this for you guys. But interestingly enough, with the way the cards came out, we've got the clouds, and, the Lenormand can sometimes be directional, and I'll explain that right now. We've got the dark clouds on this side, and then we've got the light coming out here, and then we have that immediately followed by the sun, which lets me know that this kind of like, brain fog and that kind of stuff, this is more of a positive thing, in that you've been confused, or you might have been kind of like, what is going on, and this week things are just going to be really popping out, coming to light. You're going to like really understand things, and I feel like that is so important. It's like you're awake to those things. It's like, it's not as well, if you're like me, your dreams might actually feel a little bit more real than reality does. But I feel like, for a lot of people, it's not so vague the way a dream might be, or or maybe you wake up a couple of minutes after your dream, like you remember it really well, but then as you go through your day, it gets more and more vague, and then you might not even remember who was in it or what happened or anything like that. I feel like you're awake, you're conscious, you're very aware of this energy coming in. So it's really positive. I'm interested in this kind of deja vu. I feel like it's mostly like a cycle. Right now is a good time in that cycle. It's almost like the Wheel of Fortune, like you're riding up on the Wheel of Fortune kind of thing. But with the deja vu, I'm also getting like there might be something in the past that's coming in as well, or you might be meeting somebody or be around somebody and it just feels like you already know them, that kind of thing. So really be on the lookout for some special energy. I really feel like this deja vu card just has so many more meanings than just what it obviously says. Okay, so do keep that in mind. And with the Lovers card though, you've got this. Okay, this is going to be a really great week. I'm just really happy about this because I've had a couple of not so great readings so far, so I'm really glad that we have a really obviously good one. Yeah, regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope that exactly what the cards say will happen too. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This particular card was taken from a new deck that I've been using in private readings that I want to start using more on the channel. It's called the Price of Love Oracle. It's available on Etsy. It's a little bit pricey, but it is a really solid deck. And then this little tiny card here that I was using, where is it? This little tiny card I got from a deck called the Inner Compass Oracle. It's also on Etsy, and I've been really enjoying the little messages, and I wanted to see how it worked on the channel, so that's another thing that I'm doing here. So just wanted to let you guys know that, and also thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome, and I'm just so blessed that I have you know, that you guys are in my life, and I feel so good that I'm able to help you guys in any way that I can, in the way that Spirit leads me to, because I've just gotten so much feedback about how helpful I've been, and that just is exactly what I want to be. So thank you for that. If you want to, you haven't subscribed yet, you might want to subscribe to get more readings. If you like this video, you might want to like it. I have another pick a card reading that will be more specific that will be coming out this weekend. I'm most likely I have a good idea for it. So wanted to let you guys know that, and I will see you at the next reading, or in the meantime on a private reading if you feel like reaching out for that. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good one. All right, those of you who picked the white opalite, here's your reading. Oh, I forget what this is called, what this means. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce this card. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. I call it the Sunday card, but I know that's not how you pronounce it. And I know like 10 of you are going to be well, I don't know that, but I think that 10 of you will probably comment and tell me what it is and what it means and all of that stuff. But I think that this is that moment where you finally get something. It's like that flash of brilliance when you finally put things together and you're like, oh, that's what it is. That's what this card means. I wish I could remember how to say it. Like, I'm gonna butcher this. Saudade. Saudade. I don't know. You guys make fun of me. Okay, so we have the flowers and the anchor. Oh, these are great cards here. We have the artist. I want to go ahead and hold that up so you can see there's the on one side and artist that's kind of lower on the other side. This is such a tiny card. Look at how small it is. Even compared to the Lenormand, it's tiny. Look at that. I just wanted to make sure that you guys could see it. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords, the Two of Swords, the World, and Confront. Okay, so it looks like you guys are going to be doing some work here this week, but it's positive work. You're basically getting to a point where you're feeling a lot more secure in whatever situation that you're thinking about, regardless of where it is in your love life, okay? For those of you who are single, you're going to be feeling more secure with your projection, basically, or your trajectory. All right. For those of you who are really like into somebody and you've got them in your mind, that's going to start really picking up. And for those of you who are already in a relationship, you know, I feel like you're going to be doing some inner work, but it's kind of like the phrase as above, so below. And it's like what you're doing internally is going to directly affect your external world. Okay. So the internal world is going to directly affect your external world. Right. So kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, you're going to have an aha moment sometime this week, and it's going to be a profound aha moment, okay? So that is interesting. The artist, I feel like right now, you're really being called to be creative, okay? And when I say creative, I don't necessarily mean that means that you have to create art, okay? I think that when I say that, what I mean is you've got to get some really creative ideas on how to, for example, this is the moon card typically, and this in this particular deck, it's a little bit different, so we're going to read it that different way, and it's called confront. Okay, this is about confronting the shadow and integrating that shadow work into yourself so that you can be a more complete person. Now, oftentimes when we think about the shadow, we think about negativity. We think about like maybe the shadow self is really wild and out of control, or maybe the shadow self is really scary and maybe murderous or violent or something like that. There's no reason why the shadow can't have that stuff in it, okay? But a lot of people don't realize that when we put things in the shadow, it's stuff that we find are unacceptable about ourselves, okay? And so a lot of that has to do with what we perceive, our own attitudes about ourselves. So the shadow can also contain things like, I'm not lovable. It can contain things like, I'm not a good person. It can contain things like, I'm not normal, that kind of stuff. And being able to confront that and be like, you know what? I am normal, you know, that kind of thing. Or, you know what? I am capable of being loved. Those kinds of things. There are just as many, if not more, positive aspects in the shadow than there are negative aspects. It does not have to be bad. So when we do shadow work, we are just kind of pulling up, like, what are these beliefs that we hold, and how do they serve us? Do they serve us well? Or do we need to edit them out a little bit? You know, do we need to kind of be like, ooh, wait a minute, you know, and all of that. And so I feel like that shadow work is going to bring you to this place where you're like, What's interesting about the shadow work is that typically, at least, typically it's associated with doing a lot of mental work, you know, that kind of introspective, analytical work, that kind of thing. In fact, the shadow comes from literally analytical psychology, which is a branch of psychodynamic theory founded by Carl Jung. And you know, just so that's another reason why I'm saying that. But we have this Six of Swords, which is a lot like the Eight of Cups, for those of you who are familiar with that one. It's like you're trying to get away from the thinking side. I'm trying to get away from this point where you're kind of sitting there and you are unable to maybe make a decision or come to good positive terms on something because there's something about it that's not feeling quite right. When you experience something this week that doesn't feel right, like it's a thought, or maybe you're about to take action and then you're like, whoa, that doesn't feel right, like the right action or whatever. Pause and just write down just a few words about what's going on at that moment, because that is going to give you information about what it is that you need to confront in your shadow to bring either to light or to revise, you know, that kind of thing. Because this is all about integration, and you are going to have the world by the end of this week. Very, very positive, very positive. You'll have an aha moment. I feel like this is even early on. I would want to put it like maybe on the 3rd day of the week, okay? And then we have this beautiful gift. We have you feeling anchored and secure. We have you using some creativity. I mean, I feel like when we interact with the shadow, or when we interact with the unconscious, even if we want to go even that far, it takes some creativity, you know, to do that. I mean, just think about our dreams, in which analytical psychologists say is definitely a arena where we can interact with our unconscious. It's very creative space for those of you who remember it, right? That's the kind of thing that I mean when I say creative. You might even want to, I might actually say symbolic. It might be a better word for that. Either way, I really feel like you guys who picked this pile are really on track, and I don't really want to give much by way of advice because you guys are doing it. You're doing what you're supposed to do. All I can really say is, yes, you are supposed to be confronting some things about yourself. And it's like, okay, wait, where's the love in here? Well, the reason you're doing this is so that you can be that person that really elevates the situation. By working on yourself, you get that partner who is just as whole and complete as you are. That whole idea of mirroring that a lot of people associate with the twin flame stories, right? It happens in just any kind of relationship almost, okay? When you raise the vibration or lower the vibration, the other person will follow suit, right? You can observe this almost anywhere by observing two people who might be getting into an argument, you know? The more one person is argumentative, the more the other person gets argumentative. So just know that the more whole you are, the more whole the person is that you are either thinking about or the person you're bringing into your life, okay? So this is really a positive thing. And again, it's just something I don't really want to mess with much. I do want to say that this particular card is from a new deck called the Price of Love Oracle. I love the deck, even though it has this card that I can't pronounce in it. I've been using it in private readings. It's been great. This particular card, the artist, is from the Inner Compass Oracle. It's a little small deck, but I've been enjoying getting to know it, and I've also been using this in private readings lately. So I've been really excited to introduce them to the channel. Both the Price of Love Oracle and the Inner Compass Oracle are available on Etsy. They're a little pricey, but it's, you know, you're supporting a independent business. So, you know, I just wanted to let you guys know that. Also, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time watching, just know if you do subscribe, I do post videos pretty regularly. I am expecting to post another video this weekend. I feel guided to post another one, so look for that. And just want to tell you I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. I will see you very soon with the new reading, or if you need to see me earlier, you can always book a reading and I'll see you for a private reading. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. Hi, those of you who picked the Bloodstone heart, here is your reading. Oh goodness, we have drama. Interesting. You know those people that say they don't do drama? Well, I do drama. I don't mean that I like to create it. Please don't think that. It's not that, but it's like I'm always interested when things kind of start getting, like, I don't know, when things start getting a little bit interesting between people or in a situation, you know, it's like, ooh, I love to observe that, as long as nobody's getting hurt and all of that. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you have some great cards though. We have the fish followed by the birds. Oh, good communication. I feel like it's echoing the birds card, because the birds card can talk about communication. Then there's 3 birds there. There's 3 birds here. Oh, 4. We have the lovers. Okay, we're doing a love reading when we get the lovers. That's good. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles, then the 6 of Pentacles, and Manifest. Okay, for those of you who aren't familiar with this is the number 1 card, and it corresponds to the Magician. Okay, So, unfortunately for me, as I'm looking at these cards and I'm touching it, it's like, oh, well, the drama's not as interesting to me as I was hoping it might be. But that's good for you guys, because what's dramatic here is that this is going to be a week of just grand gestures and really important things happening. So you're in for a really important week this week, okay? You are in a lot of power right now. I feel like you're in a situation where if you were to write down just statements in the present tense, like, I make all the money I need and more, and enough to purchase anything I want, something like that. Something in the present tense that describes something that you might aspire to. That thing is going to happen right away. It's like you are in your manifesting energy. You are you're a very powerful person right now. Like, you're a person that can just make things happen. And whether that means that you are making wishes, you're writing down affirmations, or you're just going out and making things happen, this is a very powerful energy for me. Like, when I'm touching it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's more than the magician. This is power. I really feel like you have a lot of power right now, a lot of power over other people. I would say, use that respectfully, and do no harm and all of that wonderful things. But you could also get a lot of what you want right now, okay? So do keep that in mind. We have the Lovers, so we do have you in a relationship or in a situation where somebody who is very blessed to be in your life right now, okay? You're blessed. It's somebody who's placed in your life. It's a soul connection. It's a situation. It feels a little new, though. Okay, I'm getting that for a lot of you, it's not going to be a new person. It's just someone who's been there for a while. But it feels like there's a quality of novelty about this situation. So it might just be that you guys learn something new about one another. And for those of you who are single, I understand you guys watch too. It could be just a new person, okay? We do have the Three of Pentacles. Remember, it is so important to give that positive feedback to your person. Let them know you appreciate them. Tell them, you're doing such a good job with that. I really appreciate what you're doing. I really like it when you do that. They might bring you, I'm just pretending, they might bring you coffee in the morning, and it's like, oh, I really appreciate that you bring me coffee in the morning. It really, really helps me wake up, or whatever, or thank you so much for getting me coffee, that kind of thing. Make sure that they know that their positive behaviors are seen, because they will feel like they are on top of the world when you say stuff like that to them. And you'll notice that as you do that, I wonder if a certain person that I read for recently is watching this particular pile, because I feel like it's a very similar energy to what I was telling her in her private reading. But basically, as you do that, you will get so much more information from this person. This person is going to want to express themselves more. They're going to want to just give to you more. And you'll notice that the more energy that you give them, as far as how positive they are and what a great person they're just so cool, This is kind of like the look at me, look at what I'm doing card, right? The more positive feedback you're giving that person, just the more you're getting back. So it's just such a wonderful energy. Communication. I mean, you guys are going to be communicating very, very well, along with manifestation. And this, even though it might not immediately appear that this might have anything to do with your love life, you are also bringing a lot of good fortune to yourself. These fish represent money typically, or material wealth, that kind of stuff. So just understand that it could also be that you're attracting a lot of different people, but I really think that it has more to do with the material world, like wealth, that kind of stuff, money, that kind of thing. And then we have the birds, communication. Sometimes this can indicate people talking about you, but I'm not getting it. Or if they are, it's not malicious at all. I'm not getting that kind of gossipy stuff. I'm getting more like you are communicating very, very clearly. People understand you. When you are coming forward and telling it like it is, people are like, okay, yeah, I get that. I almost feel like you're speaking, like when you're speaking, you're saying what's on everybody else's mind, but maybe they're too afraid to vocalize, or maybe they're too afraid to maybe ask if you're asking a question, that kind of thing. So kind of keep that in mind too. I just feel this really empowered week for you, an empowered week that has a lot of really amazing things happen. So when I say dramatic, I mean like it's like just all these really amazing gestures are going to be made and all of that, and it just feels so good. So I hope that this is exactly how your week goes, because it's so positive. But regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week when it comes to love. I do want to say thank you so much for checking out my channel today. The card drama comes from a new oracle deck that I've been using in my private readings that I wanted to try on the channel. It's called the Price of Love Oracle. And this one, communication, it comes from the Inner Compass Oracle. Both of these I got on Etsy. They're a little bit pricey, but they are from independent businesses. So if you're interested in more of those, I did want to let you know what they were called. And also just know how much I appreciate you guys, because, you know, that energy that I was talking to you about, you know, giving that like positive feedback to other people, I feel like I get a lot of that from you guys. And I just want to tell you how much it really brightens my day, brightens my week. It's just so wonderful, and I really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me and all of that. I do anticipate posting another video this weekend, so you can look out for that. If you are new, hi, I'm really excited that you're joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your reading. And if you liked your reading, go ahead and you might want to subscribe if you're new. And also, I will see you very soon for the next reading. Or if you would like to get a hold of me earlier, then you can always book a private reading with me. All right, bye-bye for now. I will see you soon.